everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about relocating to Cypress, Texas. Now we all know moves can be incredibly overwhelming, but don't worry, I've got you covered. Today I'm going to go over 5 steps that will help you maybe make the process more smooth, a little less bumpy along the way. So if you're relocating to Cypress, or if it's something in the near future, this video, it's for you. Follow along. One, research the neighborhoods and schools in Cypress, Texas. Okay, so here's the thing. In Cypress, we have a ton of different neighborhoods that fit different vibes. If you're looking for a younger, family-friendly community, definitely there's some great options for you. If you're looking for something that's a little more quiet, a little more rural, a little more space, there really is an option for everyone. But what's so important is to determine what lifestyle you're looking for. So we have some amazing master plan communities, and in these master plan communities, what you're going to find is a very energetic, very community-centric. They bring in food trucks, they have festivals, they have parades, they have sporting events. They are very big on making sure people stay, live, and thrive in these communities. However, one thing I'm going to say about this is when you move to one of these communities, you're typically going to be in a community that's a little tighter. The homes are going to be tighter. They're going to sit on maybe a smaller lot, and you're going to be a lot closer to your neighbor. However, the flip side of that is maybe your yard's not going to be huge, but you're going to have some incredible amenities that you have at your fingertips. The other thing about a lot of these master plan communities is they're going to have higher HOA fees and they're going to have higher taxes. One thing to keep in mind when you move to Texas, we do not have state taxes, but we do have property taxes. And with our property taxes, they literally can vary from neighborhood to neighborhood. Even in the same neighborhood, they can be different. So that's one thing you definitely want to take into consideration. So for your neighborhood, you're going to want to find something that fits your lifestyle. What are you looking for? We also have communities that are a little bit older. They would still be maybe categorized under the master planned community type neighborhood. However, with these, they're older. They were established maybe in the 70s and the 80s. So you're going to have older homes, larger lots. You will still get a lot of those community-centric activities and feeling. However, what you'll find there is typically lower HOAs, and then you're going to have lower taxes in those neighborhoods because they're more established. So again, neighborhoods are super important. Step 2 to this, though, is schools. So in Cypress, you are zoned to Cypress Fairbanks ISD. That is a top-rated school district in Texas. People move here specifically for our schools. However, we have a ton of schools. So what you want to look at when you're looking for a community is step 1, a community that fits your family dynamic, what you're looking for. But step 2 is what schools is this neighborhood zoned to? Keep in mind, a lot of these neighborhoods could be zoned to multiple schools because it is a massive district. So you want to research your neighborhood, figure out your lifestyle, and figure out what type of school is important to you, if it's even important to you at all. That's what I got for you today on school. Budget. So you need to plan your budget when you're thinking about moving to Cypress, Texas. It offers a range of housing options, but as always, you need to know what you want to spend. I will say the great news here is we have so many people that are relocating to Houston. We are a major oil and gas hub and a technology hub. So we're constantly getting people that are moving here. And maybe initially their thoughts are, well, I'm going to live in Houston, Texas. Well, once they see the cost of living, a lot of times people are saying, hey, I'm going to look in the suburbs. And Cypress is on the outskirts of Houston. We are still Harris County. We are about 20 to 30 minutes to downtown Houston. So, traffic dependent. With that said, a lot of people decide to move a little bit further out to Cypress so they get more bang for their buck. With housing here, we have options anywhere from, gosh, I would say low 200s into the high millions. And it all depends on your budget, your goals, your lifestyle. One thing I will point out is when you're looking at neighborhoods, it's super important to determine, again, what the HOA fees are going to be and what those taxes are for that neighborhood, for that specific home, because that is going to play into your budget. You need to make sure you see the overall cost. Just because a home might be, let's say, less expensive, it might have really high taxes. So ultimately, you get less for what you're paying for when you could go to a different neighborhood and get a actually more expensive home but lower taxes. So budgeting is super important. This is where it is essential to make sure that you have a great lender or loan officer that is familiar with Texas and familiar with Houston specifically, so that they can run numbers for you when you're looking at homes to make sure that the home that you choose is within your budget. So budgeting, it's important. I think it's a dirty word. Personally hate budgeting, but it's actually something that is required when you are buying a home if you want to make a wise decision. Find a local realtor. I cannot recommend this enough, but when you are moving to a new area, I always recommend find a realtor that has experience and knowledge in the particular area that you're wanting to move to. This is so important because you may or may not know this, but in the state of Texas, which is a great big state, as a licensed agent, I can literally work in any city or county in the state that I want to. However, I am obviously not proficient in doing so. So the same thing really applies to the Cypress area. Houston is massive. And just because you have an agent that works inner loop or downtown does not mean that they do have full understanding of how Cypress works. I'm not going to discredit anybody who works in different areas because we all have our different levels of expertise. But when you're looking at Cypress, you do want to find a realtor that understands the different areas. You also want to make sure that if schools are important, which we find that they are majority of the time, that agent understands which schools that neighborhood is zoned to. As I previously stated, Cypress Fairbanks is massive. So if you're looking for a particular elementary, middle, high school, or maybe your child needs different type of learning help, there are schools that are better for that than others. So you definitely want to find an agent that is proficient in the area that you're looking. One tip I'm going to give you, in Houston, we have a super robust MLS system. If you are looking for a home or you're looking for a realtor to find out, where they typically do majority of their work, you can go on our MLS, which is the Houston Association of Realtors. We call it HAR or HAR. They have a really great platform for consumers. You can download the app, you can go on your desktop and look at it, but use that information to do your research. Again, find a realtor that has experience. They can prove that experience through HAR and through their sales statistics, and make sure you find somebody proficient in the area you are trying to move to. Let's talk about the weather here in Cypress, Texas. So as you can imagine, we are in Texas and we do get very hot here. I will say we have a lot of snowbirds that do move to Houston and Cypress to escape those frigid, cold winters. I can assure you, if you move here, that is not going to be a problem. So most of the year, we have pretty mild, warm temperatures, but we do have pretty darn hot summers that are very humid, and then we have pretty mild winters. I would say the positive with this is that if you have a home that has a pool, most Texans are able to use that pool 9 to 10 months out of the year. So great return on your investment if you have a pool because you're able to use it majority of the year here. Now let's talk about hurricanes and flooding. I know this is a very hot topic. And when I have people relocating here, that's one of the first questions they ask. Does it flood there? So this is what I tell anybody that moves to this area. Consider everything a flood zone. Although it may not be ranked in FEMA as a flood zone, and it's maybe never even flooded before, it's always a good idea to get flood insurance when you move here. When Harvey hit us in 2017, it was devastating to our city. There were homes that were not located anywhere near a flood zone, had never flooded before, and they flooded. It was such a massive event, nobody could have predicted it. Now, this is not to deter you or sway you from moving to this awesome city, but it's just to prepare you. It's always a great idea to carry flood insurance. We do get to experience hurricanes here. Now, we are about 100 plus miles from the coastline, however, close enough to feel the surge of the rain and sometimes possibly flooding when hurricanes hit the Gulf. So overall, again, Cypress and Houston area is a great area for weather. Warm majority of the year. We do not have extreme winters. We do have the possibility to run into some flooding with hurricanes, but that's also once in a long time. So you've got to, weigh the pros and cons if it's a good idea for you. Now I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. When you have the right realtor, that's going to be their job. They're going to look at the flood maps. They're going to look at the history of the home to see if it's flooded. And with that information, you can make that educated decision if that is a neighborhood or an area that you want to move into. But Cypress does have great weather. You'll stay nice and warm. And what I've heard is the humidity is actually really great for your skin and it helps keep those wrinkles from coming on. So maybe saves you some money on that Botox. I don't know. So you need to get involved and embrace the community. Cypress has such an awesome community and there's so many ways that you can get plugged in, from just actual neighborhoods that do things, to sports, to gyms, to clubs, to VFW. We have so many ways here that you can get yourself plugged in and just embrace everything that we have here. We just have a very small town feel in a really big city. And that's what most people love about being here in Cypress, that it feels like everybody is kind and welcoming. And again, big city, but that small town feel that just makes you feel at home. So I cannot urge you enough, when you move here, get plugged in. Again, we have great churches and activities. I mean, you can just always find something to do here. Not to mention that we have tons of shopping and restaurants and a ton of parks and lakes and just ways to stay active. So get yourself plugged in once you move here. I promise you will not regret it. Moving to a new place can be challenging, but I hope that these 5 steps make your move to Cypress a little bit easier. From picking your neighborhood, working on that budget, finding the perfect realtor, preparing for our Houston weather, and getting yourself plugged in. Hopefully these steps will just help you have a much smoother transition on your journey. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like my page so that you get notified when we post future updates and videos about the Cypress area. And should you have any questions whatsoever about Cypress or real estate in this area, please do not hesitate to reach out. You can leave a message below, or you can find my contact information on my page. Thank you so much for watching again. Have a great day.